Hey guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. And today we're going to take a little head-to-head look at two of my favorite single-stack concealed carry pistols that are out there. We've got on the left the original Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9, and then on the right we've got the Ruger EC9S. And both these just represent two just fantastic, budget-friendly choices for concealed carry. Each one has its own distinct advantage over the other one, and we'll talk about some of those details as we go over each pistol individually. And then I'm also going to show you a little bit of shooting footage and then give you my final say in which pistol I prefer to shoot. Now again, that's just my opinion. You can disagree with me and that's going to be fine. First thing I want to do is go ahead and start off with the specifications on the Smith & Wesson Shield. Now there is, the Shield 2.0, and there's so many different variants of the Shield that are out there now that you really do need to kind of look around and see what your application is going to be and then make the best choice that you possibly can, because you've got even more options than what you had before. So M&P Shield 9mm. The manufacturer number is 180021, obviously 9mm. It is 7+1 or 8+1 with two different magazines. This pistol does have the 8+1 magazine in it right now. The 7+1 is a little bit more of a flush fit. It is striker fire. The barrel length is 3.1 inches. The front side is white dot, rear side is white 2 dot. Now these have upgraded Tritium Sights, and I'll show those off a little bit too when we get there. Overall length is 6.1 inches, frame width is 0.95 of an inch, overall height is 4.6 inches, weight is 19 ounces. Frame material is polymer. The barrel slide finish is a nitron finish. I don't know specifically what the name of the finish is that Smith uses, but you get the idea. Trigger pull's 6.5 pounds roughly. Sight radius is 5.3 inches, and this one, let's see, is this with or without the thumb safety? We are without the thumb safety. So you can get it with the thumb safety. Unfortunately, with the EC9S, the only way to get this model without a thumb safety would be to buy the LC9S Pro, which I believe is no longer in production. So let's go and move over to the right real quick with the Ruger EC9S, which is basically the lower cost version of the LC9S. And I apologize if I confuse any details. But again, very, very similar with the exception of the finish on the slide. And I believe the sights are milled on the EC9S. They're part of the slide itself. And they are in fact removable on the LC9S. Capacity, base capacity is a 7+1. I also have a 9+1 Ruger magazine that I also carry with it too. The slide material is thorough hardened alloy steel. The barrel material is alloy steel. Barrel length is 3.12 inches. The grip frame is glass-filled nylon, high performance. Sights are integral, as I mentioned before. Slide finish and barrel finish are black oxide, which they're aging okay, but I wish they were holding up a little bit better. Width is 0.90, weight is 17.2 ounces. Overall length is 6 inches. Height is 4.50 inches. The twist is 1 in 10. Let's see, and the suggested retail price is $299. As for the Shield, the original Shield, you can pick those up over at Palmetto State Armory for $249 right now. Now, when it comes to the EC9S, I've seen them for as low as $215, $212. I think I paid $220 when I bought it at SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. Okay, so as you can see, the firearm is in fact unloaded, so we're going to go ahead and drop the slide on that real quick. Just to show off those sights a little bit, I can't remember what my stepdad said he paid for them. They are Tritium Sights, and I think he said he paid about $115, if I'm not mistaken. He did have them installed, but I'm sure you could probably install them yourself if you had a sight pusher and the appropriate tools, but that is something that some people may want to go with or not. There's nothing wrong with the base dot sights that come with the pistol right out of the box. They're perfectly usable. It is a very smooth, almost melted kind of frame, definitely suited perfectly for concealed carry. This, I guess some people like to use it as a slide release. I tend to just do a top charge. It is a little bit difficult to release the slide, even when you're loading that first round. Takedown's a piece of cake with a takedown lever. If you're familiar with the M&P series, it's very similar in its lineage. You do have kind of those scallops on the back, no front serrations, so if you're a press check person, you're gonna have to squeeze a little bit tight. Now this does have some gold accents on it. He does like to top up some of his guns with some of the paint to kind of show off some of the markings. You don't have any kind of a rail, but there are aftermarket lights and lasers that you can pick up for this pistol. Your magazine release is not reversible, and you do not have an ambi slide stop, just for the record. And again, the finish is nice and smooth all the way around. It is very easy to release the magazines, however, and they do basically pop right out when you push the button. Okay, no problems there. So talking about the width of it, obviously with it being less than an inch wide, it's very, very easy to conceal carry this inside the waistband if your state allows you to do so, or if you can in fact get whatever license or permit you need to do so. And again, with the 8-round magazine in this one, it does stick out about a ½ inch further than the 7-round magazine does. And I don't have the 7-round magazine. For that, I do apologize to you guys. Again, let's make sure we're clear. Okay, go ahead and just do a dry fire real quick. Again, you can kind of see how we have that 2-piece trigger set up. There was a recall on the first run of these Shield triggers. I think that pin would snap and the trigger could possibly break, but that has since been worked out. Long time ago, nothing to really worry about, but if you're not sure, you can always check your serial number or call Smith & Wesson and they'll let you know. You do have a lifetime guarantee with this pistol, which is great. Again, a little bit of take up, definitely firm all the way through. Definite wall on the break there. About a ½ inch of a trigger pull. Check the reset. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter, Again, it does tension up. You definitely have that wall there that a lot of people like, and then it breaks. Something that you don't find, say, in the Smith & Wesson SD9 VE pistols, where those just tend to have tension, and that's pretty much all that you get. But all the way around, very easy pistol to carry, not too heavy, just what I say, a shade under 16 ounces maybe. Texture, not overly aggressive, can be a little bit to keep in the hands when your hands are sweaty. When I took this out in August of 2018 and did some shooting, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes, it was a little hard to kind of keep my grip on it because it was around the 90-degree marker outside. But again, just an absolutely fantastic, wonderful pistol, and I believe that recoil's not too bad. For some people, it can be a tough pistol to shoot accurately. I know I've got some friends that have them that claim that they tend to shoot a little bit low, and it could be possibly that the sights are maybe too tall for the pistol. I don't know, but again, some aftermarket sights could always take care of that problem. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Ruger EC9S. Now, I don't want to come off with any kind of bias, but as soon as I pulled my first shots with this, I knew that I had a sweet shooter. What really surprised me was for such a small pistol, especially myself being a person that had played around with the Sky CPX2 for 3 years as a daily carry, this thing was such a soft shooter. And I mean, I felt like you had wonderful trigger control. The trigger is definitely nice and smooth, and that's one of the nice things about it that really kind of catches you off guard about it the first time that you shoot it. Go ahead and check it. We are in fact clear. All right, so front to back, it's got kind of that nice molded, melted frame, which makes it easy for a nice wood draw as well as reholstering when necessary. You do have some fairly aggressive serrations up on the top, but they are spaced out quite far apart. So, but you can still get an easy grip on it depending on how you like to charge the weapon. Again, I tend to do a top charge. It is primarily available with the safety. Without, you'd have to find the EC9S Pro model, which is getting really hard to find. I really wish Ruger would make this model without a safety, but they're kind of funny about that sometimes. They're definitely big on their safety devices for their firearms. Again, the slide stop or slide release, whatever you want to call it, I believe it has like a reverse mount in it, makes it almost impossible to use to drop the slide just by using your thumb. You're going to be sitting there pressing on it the whole time. Again, do a slingshot charge or a top charge, whatever works best for you. Again, I'm not giving you shooting advice, but those are definitely some of your options. Your magazine release is not reversible, so it is biased towards right-handed shooters. Not that lefties could learn to shoot it. And then your slide stop, slide release is not present on the right side. So again, more biased towards a right-hand shooter. Grip texture is definitely much more aggressive than the M&P Shield. It does stay planted in your hands very well. You definitely feel it. You've also got some texture on the front that matches the side panels, kind of like the Shield. And on the rear also, it does stay well in your hands when you're shooting it. Let's just go ahead and check out the trigger. Again, you have some take up. Definitely more creep than the Shield. And then you have your break. Okay, so it is a longer trigger pull, almost reminiscent of the Taurus G2C PT111 G2 family, but not quite as long. Trigger doesn't go all the way back. No, it doesn't go as far back as the G2C. Reset. It's about a ½ inch, I think. And you got that little blade safety on it. Okay, go ahead and pull. You do have a definite wall before it breaks, but you have also got about a ½ inch of take up, and then it just snaps. So again, the trigger just absolutely wonderful, and I mean, coming from a Sky CPX2 and a PT111 G2 and an SD9 VE, this is definitely one of my favorites overall. You can also get this with flat base plates, and I believe it comes with a flat base plate if I'm not mistaken, so you don't have to worry about this little part here giving off any kind of printing if you conceal carry it. I conceal carry it easily in a 3 o'clock position. I'm a pretty big guy, but again, it's a very slim gun. Sights, nothing to write home about. They are just simply black iron sights, very basic, very simple, but man, I shot this thing like it was amazing. I'm very, very accurate with it, very comfortable with it, and so on. Complaint that I have is in the hand, it feels a little top heavy, a little front heavy. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but it feels like it could kind of fall out of your hands if you don't have a good enough grip on it. Easy to get a two-handed purchase on it, obviously, but just in the hand, it just feels a little awkward. Like the weight is maybe a little more biased towards the front. Not that it's a big deal, but I kind of wish that maybe it was kind of pulled back just a smidge, like the Smith & Wesson Shield, which I think personally has a better balance in the hands overall. Okay, so one of the advantages of the M&P Shield is definitely going to be the aftermarket accessories and upgrades. You can find aftermarket trigger kits for it. You can find aftermarket sights for it. Many magazine options are out there too, laser light combos and so on. I can't remember if the Shield 2.0s have a pick section on the front or not, Picatinny rail section, but again, you definitely have a lot more options out there. Ruger EC9S, not much you can do to it with the fixed sights up on the top, and really I don't know if there's any aftermarket triggers out there. There might be something for the LC9S that you could use on this if you want to. Options are out there. As for magazines, their magazines are not very expensive. If you look around, I'm able to get the factory, 7-round magazine on eBay for $20, $23. Sometimes you can get 2 packs for like 40, and then the 9-round magazines, which are right here, which add an extra about an inch to the bottom of the grip. These run about $24, $25 a piece, made by Ruger, and they're made in the USA. Both sets of magazines are made in the USA. As for the M&P Shield, no lack of magazines out there, and that's important to consider. A lot of people. Let's go and talk about the shooting footage overall. Man, I just shot the Ruger EC9S so well when I was out there. We're going to start off with the Ruger footage. I believe I took that out just last fall. Very tight group. I even shot it better off camera. I usually do than it did when the camera was on itself. Very controllable. Both sets of shooting footage you're about to see here are 7, 10, 20, and 25 yards. And as I stretch out a little bit, there's definitely the gap opens quite a bit, but you're keeping it within what I would say is probably an 8-inch circle, which would be your most effective center mass zone that you'd want to use for, in say, a defensive shooting. As for the M&P Shield, I was pretty good with it out to 7, 10, okay with it out to 20, and my shot started to drift a little bit. I think with more practice I could definitely get better at it. Recoil, totally manageable, very comfortable to shoot, and the more you practice with it, the better you're going to get. I don't know, some people like it, some people don't like it. It's a different kind of shooting angle than what you get with the Ruger, obviously, and there's some advantages to that. So checking out the shooting footage on that too. Bringing it back, which one would I purchase? Let's say I had $250, enough to buy the Shield and maybe a box of ammo, or enough to buy the EC9S and say a spare mag. Which one would I get? Man, this is not an easy one for me. I absolutely love the Ruger. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I do find the Shield, the balance of the gun, better. The trigger is about the same as the EC9S in terms of comfort. I like the availability of other options, say at the sights and magazines, that you just can't get on the EC9S. And even though the EC9S is in fact my daily carry, I would definitely have to go with the Shield. Not that I doubt Ruger's quality. Both guns have a lifetime guarantee with them. For some reason, I just feel like the Shield's just a little more comfortable to shoot overall, grip placement, purchase, and so on, balance. In the end, I would probably choose the Shield over the EC9S. And the funny thing is, I had a Shield when they first came out a couple years ago, and the trigger issue actually kind of spooked me out a little bit, so I ended up selling it. I just didn't want to deal with it, even though my model was not on the recall list. I wasn't a big fan of the 2-piece trigger, but I've since grown to like it, and it doesn't really bother me. So overall, I would say, for 25, 30 bucks more, the Shield is definitely going to be the better deal. You also get a second magazine with it, whereas you don't get 2 magazines with the EC9S, okay? But again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the EC9S if you want to go with it. It's a great pistol too, and either gun's going to suit you well. I've had no issues with either gun, and I've taken both of these to the range a couple times now. Well, I've shot the EC9S a lot more with it being my daily carry. Alright guys, so that is it. In a nutshell, that's my take on the EC9S versus the M&P Shield. I've never fired a Shield 2.0, so I really couldn't tell you how much better it is or worse and so on. But again, you can pick up the Shield 9s used. You can find them on sale, still out there, with or without a safety, whatever you want to do, you've got that option. And like I said, because of the accessories, because of the overall feel, the options, the 2 magazines, I feel like the M&P Shield's maybe a little bit better value for the money, as much as I love the EC9S, which I'll continue to carry, by the way. So that's it. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Okay, thanks for checking out the channel. Please like or subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also find me on gunchannels.com. Otherwise, guys, check me out on guntube.org. So that's it. I want you to have fun. I want you guys to be safe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. Alright, take care guys, and have a good one. Bye-bye.